Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the week ending 30th of August 2025. Trump again goes against the grain regarding Ukraine. So many more will be slain by Putin's bombing campaign. Epping again feels the strain as migrants are allowed to remain. Vance treats flag naysayers with disdain, suggesting they're insane. Farage explains how he'll have immigration contained as reform continues like a runaway train. Travis's and Taylor's joy is plain, unrestrained. Last Monday, hopes had begun to skyrocket when Trump seemed to extract himself from Putin's pocket. The Oval Office summit seemed to have cast doubt in the president's mind at last. Trump finally convinced that Putin ain't a demigod but is actually just an odd little sod. When in Anchorage, Trump had given the twisted gnome a red carpet welcome to make him feel at home, it caused the right-minded to fume and foam and a chill to go right down to the bone. After months of Trump putting it off, he at last seemed to wake up and smell the coffee. But now, once more, he's struggling to identify which of Putin and Zelensky is the bad guy. And on Sunday, he once again pulled the rug from under Ukraine's feet with an almighty tug, saying Russia must not suffer any pain from long-range missiles launched from Ukraine, thereby tying Ukraine's hands behind its back in the face of Russia's incessant attacks. Trump, it seems, has reverted to his default of not accepting the war is Putin's fault. And so the Kremlin coward just keeps on and on, hitting Ukraine each night with drones and bombs. And Trump again puts pressure on Zelensky to seal any deal for the sake of expediency. But whether Zelensky accedes or refuses, it's heads Russia wins, tails Ukraine loses. Things are febrile in Britain, teetering on violence over where to put undocumented migrants. Last week in Epping, a court adjudicated that migrants could no longer be accommodated in the Bell Hotel at the government's behest while their asylum claims were being processed. Their presence there had caused much local unrest, so the council felt the matter must be addressed. And having seen Epping Council's success, more councils around the country are seeking redress. Then on Friday, the government sighed with relief. An injunction gave them a temporary reprieve, letting the Bell house the migrants a little longer. Feelings on both sides of the debate got stronger. And Nigel Farage was stirring the pot, and those fed up with their lot think he's hitting the spot. On Tuesday he gave a speech to the press on how the small boat crisis should be addressed. He announced Operation Restore Justice, a strategy for which the essential thrust is to overhaul the current human rights legislation to pave the way for mass deportations. He added that he'd try to work with the Taliban to have a returns agreement with Afghanistan. Reform UK may still have just 4 MPs, but they lead most of the polls with consummate ease. They're wooing Tory voters whose party is wobbling, and Labour voters who are fed up with the squabbling. But in politics, they say a week's a long time, and the next election's due in 2029. Farage might be a man with charisma and elan, but might he be just a flash in the pan? Reform's a protest party, it's widely been assessed, and short-term success from protest is what it does best. Voters in the end usually flow with the mainstream. In Britain, the centre always beats the extreme. J.D. Vance likes to sneer and interfere in our politics going on over here. His opinion on free speech we often hear, and on Friday Trump's VP again was very clear. He said our national flag should be flown with pride, a symbol of our identity, not something to hide. All summer across Britain, as each new day dawned, buildings and lampposts were newly adorned with St. George's crosses and Union Jacks, even painted on roads and walls, in fact. A message of patriotism made loud and proud, but many left-wing councils say they can't be allowed. They say the flag wavers are being disingenuous. Their link with loyalty to Britain is tenuous. They're actually pushing a narrative being spun that something must be done. There's a battle to be won. The United Kingdom is being overrun with foreigners who have illegally come. People must make a stand, draw a line in the sand before these people take over our land. So putting up these national symbols everywhere is really designed to intimidate and scare. The Red Cross of St. George shows foreigners we're cross. The Union Jack's been hijacked to show them who's boss. And then J.D. Vance throws more oil on the flames, making clear it's the far left crazies who he blames. On Tuesday, against the flow of the general news stream, a world story on an altogether happier theme. Love's young dream, although not as young as they seem, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are becoming a team. Your gym teacher and English teacher are getting hitched. That's how the Instagram announcement was pitched. 30 million likes for the question being popped. Many hearts warmed, some momentarily stopped. This was a love story that could not be topped. As for the rock on Taylor's finger, many jaws dropped. Taylor's blank space seemingly filled with happiness the moment that she gave the answer of yes. The date of the wedding is still anyone's guess.